Hello again, this is Robert Williams in Moores, New York. My Common Sense Politics, either .com or .net. We'll get you there. Mr. Obama, you've had a rough last 10 days. Okay, this is your second 10-day video evaluation. Your essence of bipartisanship isn't working because you need to go to My Common Sense Politics and look at the very first article where we destroyed the Republican conservative myth. There are two charts there, one from 1938 to 2008, that shows the rise of the national debt and under whose administration it happened. There's also an even more interesting chart of the rise of national debt versus the gross domestic product. That comes from the Bush White House, again projected to 2008, and everybody will see that the rise in debt happened under Republican, quote, fiscal, quote, conservative rules. From 1980 to 1992, under the Ronald Reagan, Bush Senior administration, it rose dramatically. Then it dropped down under Clinton, and then it rose again, of course, dramatically under the 2000 Bush administration. And it's going to be, we haven't even accounted for the Pentagon spending for the war in our budget. And like I said, you were left with a $2.1 trillion in deficit. And also, on September 10th, the Pentagon, Donald Rumsfeld, went in there and said that the Pentagon couldn't account for $2.1 trillion of its money. Couldn't find it. Okay? So, you're trying to be honest and open here, okay? Geithner's talk didn't really help anybody else on Wall Street. The stock market tanked again, and I know you can't really go by the stock market, but a lot of people do. And my previous point still remains with the Federal Reserve. If they don't want to pay us interest for the privilege of being the bank of choice for the United States, then insure all pensions that are funded through the Federal Reserve Bank, private pensions, to the $250,000 level of the FDIC, and then let the big banks fail. Change banks to Key Bank, Glens Falls, find some local regional bank that's good and say, okay, you're going to be the new Federal Reserve. Your Federal Reserve holders, that your private guys got all your money in, well, tell you what, you don't want to play by these rules, we're going to go take our banking business somewhere else. Okay? The 1913 law to give fractional reserve credit, the power of the purse, to the Federal Reserve Bank as a private corporation was unconstitutional. Even the Supreme Court has said that the Federal Reserve Bank is a private bank. Okay? They didn't want to do business with the United States under our rules, change banks. There's also a thing about besides his past lobbying efforts and stuff like that, what's even more disturbing, I think, is your choice to leave the Raytheon lobbyist, make sure I get his name right here, William J. Lynn. Doing a heck of a job there, Billy. I gotta tell you, as number 2 guy. There's a report today that actually 222,000 rifles, grenades, shoulder-launched rocket missiles, launchers, infrared goggles, 220,000 weapons that have been lost in Afghanistan because the Pentagon didn't keep track of the serial numbers. Come on, duh. I mean, thunk, thunk. Where do you go? You hand out a gun, you take the person's name and ID, thumbprint or whatever, and you put it down there. He's got that gun. Duh. Do we have to really go back to a basic philosophy of just like being common sense sensible in the Defense Department? And the Defense Department recently confiscated some new technology of a fellow who made a new technology where his go-kart runs off pure water, whether it's snow, seawater, ice, or whatever. You put it in there, runs off 2 12-volt batteries, and no gasoline, and that go-kart goes off, that engine goes off. The Department of Defense needs to unclassify that technology and put it into the Detroit automakers. Okay? Michael Moore, if you're listening, make that happen. President Obama, make that happen. We don't need foreign oil if we can run off seawater. Duh. We can make an engine that runs off that. There's waterforgas.com out there. You go there, and that's true. I have everything like that, and there's videos that show where or people are putting this in, this water for gas, auxiliary rates the gasoline, is getting 75 to 85 miles per gallon. It's unthinkable that you would not mandate the automobiles to take this technology and put it in there. That's better than any hydrogen hybrid, where you got to have hydrogen stations or whatever, where all you got to do is put water in a cup, okay, to get you 75 to 85 miles per gallon. This is on an old Jeep Cherokee up through the mountains of Washington State. Come on, guys. Common sense politics here. Back to the Republicans. You guys are grandstanding. These two charts that are at my common sense politics should be blown up and put on the floor of the House and the Senate when these Republicans go to block, sort of in an enclave block, to stop this stimulus package. And again, as President Obama, you had to point out, stimulus, duh, that's spending. How many more times do you got to say it? As far as the Pentagon, even the Pentagon, or the National Security Agency, is saying the economy is becoming a national security problem. Well, there's a lot of national security problems, okay? And Lincoln's letting everybody go away, like he said in his speech, with no charges. In this case, I think everything from a colonel on down could probably get away with it, but anything from a major or up should face charges. Okay, for what happened on the false flag event of 9/11. There was no plane that hit the Pentagon. The video clearly shows that there's one little long hole that comes out the other side. It was a missile, and there was no plane crash in Pennsylvania. There's not enough evidence to support that either. Same thing with it's as laughable as the lone assassin of JFK. Okay, when the original people who looked at him in the hospital said that he had a hole in the back of his right head like this, when it was wide open, and there was no brain matter inside. There's 6 or 7 doctors that are out there on YouTube and documenting this. This stuff. Our history can only go forward as a united nation, President Obama, if we go forth on brutal truths. If we build a house of cards of lies and manipulations, we're going to crumble. We're going to go through the Milky Way belt from the south plane of the ecliptic to the north, or the north to the south, depending on which way you're looking at it. But we are going to go through the plane of the ecliptic on December 2012. And we can't keep basing all reality on these lies. So keep at it, Mr. President Obama. You got a lot of work ahead of you. There's a lot on your shoulders, and I'm telling you, I wish the universe to bless you and make you through, and hopefully the secret government won't kill you off like they killed Lincoln and like they killed JFK. There's a lot of false flag events, and the military was involved in it, and you really got to get to the bottom of that. And remember also, your citizens had two concern surveys. The number one up on both was hemp. Hemp makes better ethanol than anything else. We can save our corn so our food prices don't rise. It also makes building blocks. And the Bible you swore your oath on, the Lincoln Bible, is made of hemp paper. So you got to live up to that too. Have a pleasant week. We'll see you in another 10 days, President Obama. Again, may the universe be with you. I'm Robert Williams in Morris, New York. My Common Sense Politics. Either .com or .net will get you there.